bad times. Not bad times at the Intellectual Abattoir Towers. I'm meant to have a guest. Waiting for the guest. I've got my phone on in case the guest actually does show up. It's fine. People are busy. I don't like putting people out, actually. But I wanted to get one out. I have got one. Okay, I've been absent. Getting guests is tough. I don't know if it's me. What's that doing there? I have got one in the can that I recorded with a local guy. Someone who experienced a injury. The sort of injuries that I don't know if you're allowed to talk about. But that requires quite a bit of editing. So I haven't done it, but it is in the can and it is coming. Apologies to him if he's waiting for that to come. That'll probably be next week. But I wanted to get out of this pyramid stuff. I did have a guest lined up, and I've got my phone on. If you hear it buzzing, I've got it on in case he does show up. But if he doesn't, we'll just go into a solo deep dive. I don't know if you've seen. I'm sure you have seen the news that there has been a discovery. Always controversy around it. Not just controversy, what do you call it? Contradictory thoughts. So what they've got this new sort of radar thing. I'm sure you're all aware of it, those of you that aren't. And they've sort of like scanned the pyramid, and they found these sort of like, they've got these houses in them. And they sort of like little beehives. So at the base of the pyramid, like in the pyramid, on floor level, there are these sort of like, they look like little houses. I'll get up in a minute. Got my pointy stick so we can really get into it. And then so then under them, now this is where it gets not controversial, contradictory. Under those, there are 8 stone columns in 2 rows of 4 that apparently go down 650 metres. Now, for scale, the Eiffel Tower is 300 metres tall. Now, they're like these big stone columns with staircases, spirals going down into, that go down, and then 650 metres down, there are 2 kilometre square big blocks, whether 4 go into one and 4 go into the other. We'll have a look in a minute. But so this comes out. Then I start seeing this come out. Everyone's talking about it. Then you get the people. Just before we get into it, talk about the nature of skepticism and the safety of skepticism, because I've noticed. Okay, we'll get into the sort of like public skepticism, then we'll get into the sort of like the experts that protect the status quo, like your Flint Dibbles and these sort of cats. So someone who's posted a link to it and gone, oh, look at this is interesting, what the hell is this, what do you think this means? And someone, this has completely been debunked, this is all fake. So I'm reading this comment, this is on Facebook, I think, and I'm like, it's been, or X, I'm like, this has been debunked, the whole thing. So then I looked it up and I was like, no, it hasn't, this is real, it's like being reported on, and I'm thinking, it's so safe to be that guy, that person that says this is all bullshit. They never get any recourse, they never get fact-checked. They never get dug out. They never get revisited. I thought the same with the pandemic. The people that sort of like went out there, your people that said, I'm not going to wear a mask, or I'm not going to get vaccinated, or we shouldn't lock down, or they were pariahs. Like when Mark Dolan ripped up that mask, or cut up that mask on his show, he got so much flack for that. Those people never came back and apologised. But he was right. The masks did nothing. The masks did do nothing. I mean, nothing. And even that Fauci said, we just made that up. We made up the 2 meters thing. We don't, look, nothing. But the people that at the time were going, you must wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you should be put in prison. There's no recourse for them. So if you're correct, it's always the same sides. If you're correct on the side of being not following the narrative, the official sanctioned, state-sanctioned endorsement, that line that, this is what pyramids are, you should wear a mask. If you speak out against them, you're a pariah. Even when the evidence comes out that you were correct, it's not about being right or wrong anymore. It's about being in or out. And I don't want to be a bootlicker. I'm not saying that they're always wrong or always right, either side. But it's like the people that... So this bloke goes, this all bullshit, it's been debunked. No one was digging him out for it. But, you go on there and say, what do you think it could be this? And everyone's, you idiot, you flurfer, you... It's like, man, you don't know. Don't always... If one side's... if there's always one side of the argument which is against authority and the establishment, if the alternative road to that is always the one fraught with pitfalls and landmines and barbs and traps, then you got to ask why. Why are they making it? Why is it always so difficult to voice anything that's slightly alternative to the mainstream narrative? And when I say mainstream narrative, I don't mean CNN and Sky News. I actually mean the government. And so that was annoying. But then, and then you start going, well, what are these things? The things under the pyramids? What? Because then I start looking into it a bit. I mean, I'm no Egyptologist, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that. So the thing about the Egyptologist, like, you're an expert in Egypt, right? You are known as the preeminent, clued up. You are an expert in Egypt, and you have said and written books for 3 decades saying they're burial tombs for pharaohs. Then the evidence comes out that they're not, and then all of a sudden, if that paradigm changes, you ain't a fucking expert anymore. Of course, they're going to defend the orthodoxy. But I used to think that naively, same with medicine, that these people were like investigate. I always thought the Egyptologist, the expert in Egypt, would be someone that was at the forefront, the cutting edge of new discoveries. Where it seems to be like they get a kind of like, let's just settle on this. Let's just settle on this version of events, and then they defend it in spite of new evidence. Are you an expert in that case? Then you're almost like it's almost like a religion that you're the priest of. So anyway, we're going to have a look at them in a minute. But I don't know what they are. No one knows what they are. It looks like there's some sort of... I can't imagine... I mean, can you imagine the undertaking? This is the other bit. I don't know if that bit's true. Like the bit about the little houses that look like beehives. They've got like sloped roofs inside, I think. And then I saw a thing on Snopes or whatever that said, the columns going down is a right-wing conspiracy. Well, as soon as they start saying that now, I think they've overused that play. The cat's out of the bag. That when I see something being labelled as right-wing, I think they're just saying it's verboten. That is now being used as like it's like they're smearing it in dog shit to keep. No one wants to be right-wing. That's the thing. We're human beings. As much as they tell us we're evil, we're actually quite good. I think like 0.2% of the population are actually like the correct definition of like far right, but they label everyone as it, as a sort of like, don't dare talk about these columns going down into the sand, or you will be right wing. Atlantis. Graham Hancock is a white supremacist. Is it? Is that what when they say that Atlantis is probably in the eye of the Sahara, which is in Africa? I don't know. What was I going to say? So anyway, so I don't know about the columns going down, but we'll have a look. But anyway, it's really interesting, and I want it so much. We do, admit it. Look inside yourself and decide what side you're on. If you want it to be just lumps of stones stacked up to bury a king in, if you want it to be that, not if you think it is or isn't, take probability out of it. If you actually think, if you deep down in your heart hope it's just a pile of stones, basically a grave, what's wrong with you? Don't you want it to be some intergalactic power generating? The other thing, did you know that pyramids are F flat? This is another, because I've done the most cursory looking into it since this came out. But pyramids, I think they've picked these certain stones that they're made of, the inside ones anyway, maybe not the face stones, that are 80% quartz. Quartz is it's a sound conductor. Have you ever seen those quartz spiders? They're quite amazing. They dig a hole in the floor and they go down and they get quartz. These spiders, not anything else but quartz, and they surround their like little. They build like a well, and they go down a well and they put quartz around the top, and they put one of their legs on a quartz, and they send it so conductive of vibrations that they can actually see what's happening. So if you dragged a stick across the quartz, the spider can't see it. It would know, that's a stick. But when an ant crawls across it, it can actually know it's an ant. I might have made that up. That sounds like bullshit, doesn't it? But anyway, so the pyramids are made of 80% quartz. And apparently, like, they resonate at F sharp. This type of stone with quartz in, which the Earth's frequency is F sharp, and this is a MacBook. You know that when you turn a Mac on, it goes goo. That was the wrong tone altogether. Might be tone deaf. You know, like the MacBook when you turn an Apple on, that's F sharp. That might not be interesting. Right. So anyway, let's have a look. Okay. So I've just clicked on not random, but I've selected a YouTube video to watch. Can I just say, I don't use YouTube on my computer. I look at it on my phone or stream it to cast it to my. I just had to sit through the longest advert. Is it different on your computer? Because you're not doing anything else, isn't it? I think on your phone, if the adverts are too long, they know you're just going to go fuck this and just like play chess or Block Blast or do something else. But I literally just sit through a 90-second Wix commercial, and there was no skip function. Anyway, so let's have I don't know who this bloke is. Well, it says here who he is. He's a Ozint researcher, founder, host, project. I mean, this is just fucking joke. It could mean anything. I could put something under my name. An Ozint researcher. What do you reckon that is? Order of... We don't know. Anyway, let's see what this cat's got to say.
Express in words just how significant of a discovery this is.
It could be, couldn't it? Is that full screen? I suppose it is, yeah. Project Unity. That sounds nice. Unity's
what has just been announced in relation to the
way.
pyramids at the Giza Plateau and the plateau itself is so incredible, so awe-inspiring and narrative shattering that I have been sitting here for the last hour trying to wrap my head around the implications of what we were just told. So this
see that already. I don't know who this guy is, but that's the correct response, isn't it? If it's true, I've heard this thing, and if it's true, I've been thinking about the implications of it. So then you say, let's say you do that, and you think about the implications of it for a week. You know, not at the expense of feeding your children and that, but like, you know, and then like they go, oh, actually, it's not true. You go, you still had that thought process. Is that still valuable? Do you think still valid? I think so.
This is pretty much breaking news because the new findings were announced on the 16th of March at a press conference held by the team who were studying the Great Pyramid of Giza with a non-invasive technology that was first developed by Filippo Bionde and Corrado Malanga called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography. So this
sounds legit. Sounds complicated.
This was used to explore the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. And this method leverages the analysis of micro movements typically generated by background seismic activity to achieve a high resolution full 3D tomographic imagery of the pyramid's interior and
also doesn't dye his hair. One of my grey bros.
Surface components. The recent findings from deploying this technology are nothing short of mind-blowing, because what's been discovered is that there are...
Where's he looking? What's over there? He's got his script on a bit of paper.
Huge structure.
Here we go. Look now. So these are the beehive structures. They're not beehives, but the thing is, I don't think that we thought humans had created like sloping roofs. If you think about it, that is a technology, isn't it? A sloping roof. I don't think we had sloping roofs 4,000 years ago. So this is the pyramid, which is fucking huge, right? This thing's another thing. But so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 of that. These are the things I'm talking about. I mean, look at this. I don't know what to say. I mean, the scale of these. I mean, these are big. This is the big pyramid at Giza. These are big.
Coming down from the base of the pyramid deep into the bedrock. In fact, over 600 meters deep.
Fuck. So these go into the... I always thought that when I was young. I was like, how can they build a pyramid on the sand? And then people go, oh, they're built on the bedrock. And I thought, well, how deep down does the bedrock go? How deep is the sand before you hit the bedrock? It can't be... If this was how deep down the bedrock is... Would they have... I don't think you would do 650 metre pylons, basically, would you, to get down to the bedrock? I mean, I just feel like if you had to build it in that specific... If they had to be built, if a pyramid had to be built in a location, it was so important in the sort of like longitude and latitude, like, that we had to put it exactly there. Oh, shit. The sand is 650 meters deep, for example. I know it's not that, but you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't just build it there. You would find somewhere where the bedrock was, wouldn't you? If they were just randomly anywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? If you just had to build a pyramid, you'd go, well, let's build it there where the rock is. Not, let's put it there where we've got to go. How much? These are going to be huge, like bigger than lighthouses. I mean, that is everyone's scale of reference. How many lighthouses is it?
Which then connects to structures that extend up to 2 kilometers below the surface of...
Is that like a mile and a quarter, mile and a half down? You know this does. Have you ever heard of the hollow? This is the entrance to the hollow earth.
Of the ground. 2 kilometers. Massive internal structure.
Yeah, these look like... See, what are these? I mean, are they staircases? If you had the technology to do all this, wouldn't you have, like, lifts?
Connected to the base of the pyramid and extending deep, deep down. This is what we know so far. Utilizing high-resolution radar images from Capella Space and Umbra, which are 2...
Yeah, he's reading that. I'm sorry, mate. I thought you had astigmatism.
...private companies that specialize in satellite-based synthetic aperture radar.
I don't know who you are, and far be it from me. I'm sure you're far more successful than me. Why don't you put your script, like, behind the camera? This is putting me off.
Imaging. This has allowed researchers to create a 3D model of the...
There, look. And this is something else as well. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like there's 5 of those, but there's 8 columns. This looks like the pyramids have covered something up, doesn't it? The pyramid. I know that this. Maybe I'm just thinking that because of this illustration, it's just got the corners. But I reckon that this is some sort of magical sacred thing that humans have put stones over. That could be one explanation. Like the pyramid might not be part of that internal structure. It might be that humans found that internal structure, or whatever. I say humans, what the fuck? A civilization, a race, a species found that these. Maybe I don't know.
Internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, this model has revealed a previously unknown chamber with 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof, which in of itself is an architectural design unlike any previously documented in the Giza Pyramid. But the most shocking discovery lies beneath the surface. Below ground level, radar tomography has identified vertical cylindrical structures extending for hundreds of meters beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these cylindrical wells arranged in 2 parallel rows.
That isn't water, is it? I don't know if that's just for the illustration, but this looks like water. I know it's not a photo, but why have they put this blue thing here?
Descending to an astonishing depth of 648 meters. Even more intriguing, at the base of these structures are 2 massive cubic formations measuring approximately 80 meters in diameter. The tomographic data suggests that these are vertical wells with intricate spiral pathways. Now, this design not only implies a functional purpose, but also a level of sophisticated engineering that completely blows the dynastic Egyptian model out of the water.
So, if you are an Egyptologist, is that even what they're called? You don't like this. Because they go, oh, you know, like, you've spent your whole life. You don't know anything. It's all gone. Like, I know as much as an Egyptologist. I don't, but you know what I'm saying. Like, the person that discovered this knows more than them. And they've got, like, tenureship, what do you call it? And they've got, they work at a university. Like Indiana Jones. And, like, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, shit. So now, and I don't think there's any evidence that they were burial grounds. I don't think they've ever found a mummy in a pyramid. They're just someone in the 1800s. This is the other thing. At what point in the region of the pyramids did someone not tell their kids what they were? So 4,000 years ago, they built these pyramids, right? That might not even be right, whatever, you know what I'm saying. and they built the king in it, put the king in it, sorry. And then your kids would go, Mummy, what's those fucking triangles? Oh, that's... So we buried the king in. And then their kid would say, Daddy, what's that fucking triangle? Oh, that's what... But like, I don't think we knew this, or we had to rediscover it in Victorian era. So that proves there's either a gap in human existence or history, or certainly that, or they were pre-human or something. Do you know what I mean? You would always tell your kids what they were. You have to go in there with like a pith helmet and a magnifying glass and sort of like work it out. Surely, oral tradition. I don't know. But again, so this is why the Egyptologists are so resistant. It's because it's like, it's a bit, you must be like when you're a web designer and then like, I just saw that advert, then it has work, just gone in my head, like Wix comes out. You're like, oh shit, they don't need me anymore. I'm obsolete. So Egyptologists, they might have, and they're only humans, and all humans feather their own nest or protect what they've got. You have to ask yourself, is this resistance based on saving their own skin?
I mean, the pyramid itself was already a massive red flag in the ancient Egyptian historical narrative. But now, with this discovery, I think it's become impossible to say that the Egyptian civilizations that we understand, that we've been taught about, were responsible for building these structures. And it doesn't even end there. The radar analysis extends beneath the entire Giza plateau, revealing interconnected structures beneath not only the Great Pyramid of Giza, but also those of Khufu and Menkaure. The subsurface network reaches down to a staggering depth of approximately 2 kilometers.
Is this true? We don't know. Well, it's impossible to know in the modern era, isn't it? Misinformation, information, and malinformation all pop up at the exact same time nowadays with equal sort of like weight behind them. But so are these markers? Are these basically? Are these tombstones to a something else? Like you bury a dog, you like put a rock on the ground to mark it out. That's a human thing. Are these just so in the future? Did people have to leave this planet? Did a very sophisticated culture, civilization, have to leave this planet and left this behind as beacons, as markers? Say, oh, this is where X marks the spot. Look under here. This is where they are. This is where the entrance is to. This is where the infinite energy generating. That's more like it does look like an energy thing, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know anything about energy, but 2 big blocks with spiral. They look like sort of springs. I don't know what they are, but it looks, just layman, which obviously I am and everything. It sort of does look like the structure has a sort of like a purpose. I don't mean, every structure has a purpose. I mean, rather than like a stairwell, it looks like a kind of mechanism.
2 kilometers. This is not possible, given the standard historical and archaeological narrative given to us about ancient Egypt. Now, I'm hearing that there is more to come. There is a 4-hour presentation that's going to be released by the research team.
That'll be dry and boring. That's the problem. They don't help themselves, do they? That will be boring. Even though this is like one of the most interesting, could be groundbreaking, paradigm-shifting discoveries of all time, that press conference is going to be boring as shit.
What I'm hearing, that's going to go into every detail of their findings. This has essentially been a strategic release of incredible data ahead of time to get people interested. And I am more interested in this than basically anything else right now, because this is
not interested enough to look at us. That's how interested he is. His eyes they've give up.
By far the most provocative piece of evidence for not only a potential technological
Dreamcatcher. I think we've got to disregard everything. I've just noticed that. Uh-oh. That's a game changer. This geezer's got a Dreamcatcher.
Explanation for the purpose of the Giza complex, but it also provides the most extraordinary evidence for a pre-flood era civilization that was flourishing in a way that we can scarcely comprehend. It's also possible that this spiraling cylindrical series of structures are staircases.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think you'd have that many, unless that is the entrance to something for like all of humanity. Maybe there's loads of people down there. Do we know? Do we not know that if there is a hollow Earth, or there's some, is there not all the people that was when they descended, or is that the stairway to heaven, and we are in? This is heaven. The surface level. This is fucking crazy.
And I can't help but think of the channeled writings of Thoth the Atlantean, the Emerald Tablets, speaking of a lost hall of records, a sacred hall of knowledge below.
I mean, we think this is like some Disney shit, don't we? Like anthropomorphization. But maybe they are. Maybe they did look like that. Maybe these live down there. Lizard, buzzard people. I don't know what that is. Oh, there's a canary. I live in Norwich. There's a canary there. Or something. Are they all standing on things? Yeah, what's this on? It's on a little... I don't know. Well, birds are descended from dinosaurs, aren't they? You can tell from the way they move. You've noticed a bird's head don't move like that. It sort of moves jerky. That's how a dinosaur moves. I've seen Jurassic Park.
The Giza Plateau, the halls of Amenti. Could this be the lost hall of records from the pre-flood era? Now, obviously, this discovery is extremely
Let's just take a second to look at this. I want to hear what this is. It looks like a toaster, doesn't it? What is that? This is like 5 bread bins in a toaster.
Controversial. It runs as a complete contradiction of the established narratives and status quo in mainstream academia on these issues. This will cause big waves throughout the academic and the wider world if they can fully evidence these findings. But the results so far seem pretty clear. There is obviously significant structural engineering taking place deep below the pyramids and the Giza Plateau in general. Has this changed your mind on the pyramids? Has this strengthened your position on what they might have been? Has this new discovery given you any...
Is that aliens dude is talking to there, isn't it? You know that guy with the hair? Aliens, you know the one I mean. Ancient Aliens. There's a little guy that looks sort of like, he looks like a young, is it Roy, no, what's his name? Juice Bigelow. What's his name? Schneider. Rob Schneider? He looks like, he sort of looks a bit like him. And he's always like, is the ancient aliens, everything. If it would reinforce the only person it could reinforce your beliefs if you think it was aliens, I think.
New ideas.
Or a previous, more sophisticated, you know what I mean? When they's out their theories, the sort of theories I like.
About what the implications are. Let me know in the comment section below. And honestly, everyone, share this far and wide. This is such interesting stuff. Don't forget to subscribe.
See, now the thing I saw was this is true down to here. This is, and then this is far right conspiracy. So if you are interested or think that this might be you're a Nazi. I just hope you know that. Yeah. Look, I mean, I just look at that and you must only someone that hates black people could even consider this. Obviously. And other races and ethnicities.
Have to
and minorities.
See where this goes, because rest assured, I'll be keeping a very close eye.
Will you be keeping a close eye? That'll be the first time in this video, you fucking Google-eyed freak.
On any coming announcements and updates on this issue. This plays directly into one of my main interests, which is, of course, prehistorical
my main interests of prehistorical civilizations and clip art. Not clip art, but this looks like... this does look like from the 90s, doesn't it? You remember that Encarta? Like, it just looks... This is... I've only just clocked how bad this is. It's done in a fucking Etch-a-Sketch. These are scientists. Look at all this. That could be so... What are these? Like little... Oh, there's a little 6 hide in there.
Civilizational implications. What was going on before the global cataclysm? Well, I think moments like this could shed light on that question. What a time to be alive.
Not advertising someone else's Patreon. I haven't got any myself. So anyway, we had a look. I don't know. We had a look at a video. I just wanted to make you aware of it. If you aren't aware of it, I'm sure you are. You know, in the Venn diagram of people that watch, of people that love conspiracy theories and people that would be looking into the new discoveries. It's just one circle, I'm sure. I think pyramids is a classic one. It's just they're undeniably there, for one thing. You can see them, and we can't explain them. And I think that there was a mad rush to explain everything in the late 1800s. That I think that there was too much haste. I don't think they're burial grounds, or if they were, they might have chucked their kings in them, but they might have already been there. The thing is, time to us 4,000 years ago seems like a long time ago, but to someone once 4,000 years ago was the future to be. You know, if you lived 5,000 years ago, there'd have been these futuristic structures. So you have to sort of think, oh, that was just a long time ago and no one knew what they were doing. Time doesn't. This is the timeline that we understand. 4,000 years was a long time ago. This is modern. But, you know, one day someone will look back to 2025 and go, God, can you imagine they only just had quantum computing then and couldn't teleport live people. So, you know, you can't go, oh, well, they just primitive. We don't know when they were built. We don't know how primitive they were or weren't, or how advanced they were. Probably better English. But anyway, that's just a short one. I wanted to get something out there. I'm trying to get more guests, but that's just a little quickie. And I've got one coming out about a local businessman who I interviewed. But anyway, just keep asking questions and don't just go, well, like, in some ways I get it, right? I have the sort of character that I can take those off now. I'm the sort of character I sort of like this stuff. I like movement. I like paradigm shifts. I like ripping up the rule books and going, oh, we thought we knew this and this amazing discovery's come out. I like having my mind blown. Some people don't like having their mind blown, and they will be resistant. But I'll do a deal with you. I won't just accept everything as true and legit that is an out there fringe theory, as long as you agree to not instantly dismiss those things, because you like to know that on Tuesday night you have baked potato and fish fingers, and on Wednesday morning you go to work and the pyramids are burial grounds. Some people like to know what everything is. Some people don't like wonder. People like, I'm not going to say complacency, but some people just like to understand things. I'm not going to say on the spectrum, but that's a spectrum-y trait, or traits possibly. And some people are, oh, I want it to be aliens. Have you seen this spiral? Oh shit, let's look that up. Have you seen this UFO spiral thing? Okay, full disclosure. I've clicked on the first thing I saw, and I am a sucker. I saw this. It says breaking news in these two colours that look like, and this. And I've assumed it's legit, but it could just be anyone. I don't know what this 5 is. But anyway, this is happening. This is current. Let's have a look.
Activated observers across northern England on the evening of March 24th, 2025.
Yesterday.
As a mysterious glowing orb appeared to spiral dramatically across the night sky. Residents from Greater Manchester to Yorkshire reported seeing the unusual spectacle, with vivid photographs and videos quickly flooding social media platforms. The luminous object, described as a slowly rotating disk of light, prompted widespread curiosity.
Easy kills wheel? Ezekiel's wheel? Have you heard of this?
And speculation among viewers, with some initially questioning whether it might represent unidentified aerial activity.
Is this connected to the pyramid? Imagine if they said, oh, actually, that's right over the... I know it's not over the pyramids in Manchester. But what if there's another thing under this in Manchester that's like 8 big, massive columns going down to the floor? We don't know.
Astronomical experts and space observers soon identified the most probable explanation: the visible effects of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launch earlier that afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
The spacecraft had departed from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida at approximately 1:45 p.m. local time, carrying the NROL 69 reconnaissance satellite for the National Reconnaissance Office.
It looks like a spiral.
This event appears
You can't really see on that. Hang on, let's find the pictures of it. Yeah, here we go.
Did you see these mysterious blue spiral in the sky?
Yeah, look.
Last night, a strange blue spiral appeared over the skies of Russia and parts of Europe, but it wasn't aliens. Similar spirals have been seen before, like in Alaska last year.
What if they've been seen before? Oh, only last year. Maybe they're not SpaceX, I was going to say.
But what actually causes them? These eerie lights are actually fuel dumps from SpaceX rockets. When leftover fuel is released at high altitudes, it freezes and spins in a perfect spiral.
What? So you got all this fuel in a rocket, and you go up, isn't it? And then why would you have leftover fuel? They work this stuff out, didn't they? Like, fuel's heavy. There's no way you would take extra fuel, is there? And then you go, oh, once we get up into the orbit where it's weightless, now's the time to drop it. Because if you dropped it, yeah, think about that. If you dropped it in the atmosphere, in the sky, it would drop out of the sky and kill someone or, be bad. But look, once we get we're going to get rid of that heavy fuel once we're weightless. When it's weightless, it's not heavy, is it? I mean, even I know that.
The result? A glowing, ghostly vortex in the night sky. Would you want to witness this in real life? Let me know in...
Why would it make a vortex? What's going round? We don't know shit, do we? I don't. That's the thing. If I don't know, I just assume no one else does. I heard this thing the other day that it was like a dumb... If you tell someone a dumb person... If you tell a dumb person something clever, they can only recount it in a dumb way. That's how things... So if someone explained to me how string theory worked, I can only understand it to the level that my brain can understand it. So that is how I would then describe it to someone. This is how dumbing down works. It's like I think you call it telephone in America. We call it Chinese whispers. Probably can't say that now.
In the comments. Thanks for watching.
But anyway, I just wanted a little quick look at that. But anyway, I don't know. That was a bit of a thing. Keep asking questions. There's a lot of weird shit going on. I feel like with the kill screens approaching, like in Donkey Kong, like the last 30 seconds before you hit this kill screen, it starts glitching. These definitely feel like glitches to me. I mean, we have known what the pyramids were for a couple of 100 years, and now maybe we don't. And now there's spirals in the sky. Is it Project Bluebeam? Look that up. Yeah. Anyway, keep asking, keep thinking, fuck it. It's fun. You don't have to believe it anyway, do you? So you watch a Marvel. People go, oh, that's bollocks. Why are you talking about that? That's not true. It hasn't been proven. And then they'll go and watch a Marvel film for entertainment. This is entertaining. Why can't you have an entertaining conversation that might not be 100% legit, but it's fun? And like I always say, when I was at a party, when I used to go to parties, I didn't ever want to go to parties, but there's a time in a young man's or young person's life where you sort of feel like you feel like you can't say no. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's some gacked up weirdo in the kitchen talking about lizard people, and a really buttoned down dude in the lounge talking about compound pension savings, I'd go talk to the fucking lizard guy. I mean, what's wrong with learning stuff that might not be true? It's still fun. It's still your brain's still learning, as long as you don't act on it. But then again, that is what a Nazi would say, isn't it? It's far-right conspiracy theory. What do you think? Comment. What do you think? Do you think that people are labelled as anything that they don't want you to talk about is labelled as far-right now? Do you think that this structure is... What do you think it is? Have a guess. And don't go, well, I don't know. I don't know. Have a fucking guess. You're a human being born on this planet. You've got every right to think what you think. It's not hurting anyone. Anyway, until next time, I'll be seeing you.